bit. Now, and only now, is it time for you to go and find an agent, right? I suggest your first time out of town, you work with an agent. That's what I did. I ain't got no shame in it. Work with an agent, right? And now when you're looking for an agent, do not find the agent that sells houses to all the athletes in the city. They're not going to want to fuck with you on no goddamn Bando. You're going to have to find somebody that either specializes in that or is hungry where they want that $500,000 commission check, $2,000 commission check. They've never gotten a $15,000, $20,000, $30,000 commission check from selling a $5 million house. That's not where they're at. So they're going to put that effort and that dog into it like if it was a $5 million house because they got to pay their rent at the end of the month. So this, you closing once a month, I had to learn this. It was to the point where I was closing once a month on multiple deals. I realized I was paying my agent's rent. It was going for like a year. I was paying the rent. I'm not thinking about it like that until I stopped there. Oh man, you not buying no house this month? I see you slow down. You they saying it in little ways. And I'm kind of thinking to myself, why the fuck do you care? Oh, because in your mind, I was already built in. He going to buy the house a month, every month. That's my commission check, is my rent, everything else. Now I'm moving forward, baby. We got motion. And so when you understand that and you understand where you fit in the pecking order and the ecosystem, you can make better decisions. So find yourself an agent that is going to be, once again, a partner with you, right? They're not looking down at the price point of what you're looking at. They're not looking at these houses turned up nose. They've done this before. They've seen an investor take the worst house on the block, make it livable, get all the permits, go through the whole scenario and circumstance, and come out on the other end with a cash producing property. Okay? Because that's what this is about. It's about cash producing properties. And if you buy it free and clear, as we just heard in season 1 from the tax expert, okay? If you buy it in cash, the tax benefits go through the roof. Everything goes through the roof. So that's why we're sitting here and willing to put in the 6 months, year, whatever it takes for your budget and for you to complete this mission correctly. Because once again, all this money and all this time and everything you're putting into bringing this property back to life, you will be rewarded from the tax code at the end. Trust me. Okay. So now you found an agent, and that agent now is going to tap you even further in, if you do it correctly, with the people, the handy people. What block is good? What block is bad? Where to stay away from? No. What's really bad, right? Because they now, once you cross into that, they've already sold houses in this area. So they know not every street is bad. They know not every block is bad. But they're going to really go ahead and point you, okay, no, don't, that block, we can't, don't do that. That's really bad. And they're going to take you around there at night. And they're going to say, oh, I grew up such and such around here. Or my cousin lived, right? That's the right agent. They got to have some personal connection to that community that you're looking to revitalize. Because as an investor, you got to understand that's what we're doing. We're part of the revitalization of these areas, right? You're bringing your capital and your investment into an area that people have forgotten about. That is at the forefront of this mission. The reward is the money. The reward is the money. The gratification is this hard work and how you giving back into a system that has forgotten us, right? The reward is the money. But don't put the fucking cart in front of the horse, right? That's the whole purpose of this, is that we're bringing that ownership of the block back and with pride and dignity and true ownership, not something that someone can trick us out of later. So now you found this agent and you guys have identified 3 to 5 properties that you're willing to make an offer on. Okay. So you guys have said, this is my price point. I'm looking to stay under 30. This is what I'm trying to do. Right. So now little tip. It's been done before because I have wonderful tenants that are living in a house that I bought for $30,000. And the biggest issue that they had was their sewer, their plumbing. The whole thing had to be ripped out. Now, yes, it was a huge capital investment up front, but once that capital investment happened, it was amazing the amount of growth potential and just the great tenants that they are, right? So yes, you had to have that capital, but we came in under the $50,000 mark on that one, right? And that one to this day is cash flowing over $1,000 a month. So you go ahead and do that math. So that's an example of how I recently have done that. That's my last one I've done, but I've done multiple that are purchased at that, sweet spot of 30 or under, and then do whatever renovations are needed and make sure that you're cash flowing. So I've got experience in this in multiple areas, but I want to walk you through the step-by-step of it because we're only halfway done. So now you've identified those 3 to 5. You've made your offers. Some of them are going to come through. Some are not. Some are going to be, this isn't available. Some are going to be, there's always a fucking story. Oh, we're taking multiple offers. Oh, this one is not on the market anymore. Oh, this one's got dirty title. There's always something. So if you choose 3 and you come out with 1, you're in good spot. If you choose 5, you might come out with 2, and now you choose between your last 2. Or you get both like me. So now you've gone through the offer process. Before you make an offer, I always suggest this. Have a ceiling in your mind. Don't get caught up in the I want this, and then you kind of go to sleep in your mind that this is going to happen. You made your offer, and now they counter back, and you don't have a shutoff in your mind. Always have a shutoff. I'm not going to pay more than this. Period, point, fucking blank. I don't care. Just not paying more than it. My numbers don't work if I pay more than it. So if you pay $35,000, that means that the house should need about $5,000 less of renovation, right? And so on and so forth. If you pay $40,000, that means the damn near you should just be throwing paint and new appliances and maybe do some floor, and that's done. Okay? That's how you need to think about this. Is if I go up more on the front end, that means that I need to know that I'm spending less on the back end on renovations. But that number of spending $50,000 can't move. Do you understand? Or else it's just not a good deal for what we're talking about, right? Because we're talking about getting your foot in the door. I got a bag full of money, $50,000. I don't have nothing else. That's what we're talking about. Okay? So now you've identified the properties. You've made your offers. You've had offers accepted or offer. You decide where you're going. Cool. Now it's time to get title work done. Always close with a title company. Always close with a title company. Always close with a title company. Some states it's lawyer. Georgia is a lawyer closing state, so you have to have a lawyer. There's no questions about that. But you can always do like a quick claim or something. I don't suggest that. Not on your first deals, and even on some other deals I've had, I don't suggest it because then you're the one who has to be responsible for filing the deed. And if you are procrastinate, I've had people steal houses and double sell them on me. That's a whole nother podcast for another day. You know who you are. Fuck you. But that's something that you have to really be careful about. I've caught cases in real estate over people's negligence, and I'm glad I used a title company and a lawyer because it really did protect me. And then the time that I didn't, I did what's called a over the hood handshake deal. That person wound up being shady. So a title company spending that couple $100 to run title insurance, to run, deed checks, 50 years, who owns what, is this person forging the signature? I always recommend it. I always recommend it. Cutting corners in real estate will always cost you fucking money. Trust me, it's always cost me money. So you got your title company. They're going to run all the legals. You're going to get title insurance. So that way, if anything that they say is not real, at least you have an insurance policy for the money that you paid on the property, right? Title insurance, extremely important. And going through a title company is extremely important because you need that title background ran. You really do. I can't stress that to you enough. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And also, seller chooses title. Buyer chooses title company in the world that I live in. Okay, if I pay for it, if I bring the money to it, we've talked about this already. If I bring the money, I decide the rules. I get to choose title company because it makes me feel safe. Title company is a neutral party. That's the referee. I want it to be someone that I'm comfortable with. There you go. And if they're not cool with that, red flag, red flag, red flag. Me personally, the home inspection, I think it's a little bit of a waste of money, especially when it comes to the Bando space. Because there's really only, I don't say only two things, but these are the two major things that I look for that are non-negotiable. And once again, when I've gone outside this principle, I've fucked myself. Roof, foundation. Those two things. You do not want to be fucking with the roof. I'm talking seeing daylight. Not talking, oh, I need a roof. My shingles are old and ugly. I'm talking when it rains outside, it rains inside. You don't want to deal with that. And foundation buckling, warped, falling in, leaking heavily, all that stuff, you don't want to deal with that. Those are expensive problems. And they're expensive even if you know somebody that's not trying to gouge your eyes out. They're expensive. So at all costs, avoid those on acquisition. If it happens to you in your time of investing in it and holding in it, there's nothing you can do about it, obviously. But if it's upfront acquisitions, those are the things to completely look for. Deal shut down. Do not do it. Now, you've done all that. We've gotten to title. We've gotten the inspection done by ourselves, visually. We've walked the property. We've brought in our team or whoever we, feel comfortable kind of being that second set of eyes on the property. Closing time. You know how that goes. Same time, man. I don't know you. You don't know me. Money across, the wire through the title company. It's another reason why title companies are great, because they hold it in escrow. No one could touch it till everyone brings the correct documents. Handshake, everybody back out. We good. Now it's time for the reno. The reno is where you can lose money and money can start flying out the fucking window. Do not renovate according to watching those goddamn shows. Okay? For multiple reasons. One, it's TV. A lot of that shit they take away as soon as they cut. It's a set. They're building a set out of someone's house. Remember that. Number two, the people in the demographic that we're renting to when we renovate a Bando are not on TV. They're not going to TV. They're not actors. They didn't apply to be on a reality show.